MuggleNet SnitchCenter at the tent for Quidditch World Cup Day 2, the final day of the competition. This is the bracket play where we have 32 teams that will be vying for the championship. Actually, let me do that one again. 36 teams and 4 play-ins. So we'll get into that later.
Right. Fourth takes the charm. Just like shake it out, shake it out. You got it.
It's the morning. What do you think, man? I need more coffee. All right. MuggleNet SnitchCenter coming at you. Day 2 of the Quidditch World Cup in Kissimmee, Florida. And we are here for the tournament and bracket play for Division and Division 2. Joining me today is Allison Gillette. She is the gameplay director for the World Cup here in Kissimmee. And we're going to be talking about the bracket, some surprises, some not so surprised. Let me start off with Division 1, okay? There's been the top 4 teams that were seeded: UCLA, University of Texas at Austin, Miami, and Boston U. No surprise there. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree.
They played wonderfully yesterday. UCLA dominated the competition. I think their average point spread might have been about 130, 140 points, something like that. Snitch catch every single time. Just a full team. Same with Miami. Miami has a great offense, great defense. I look for those 4 teams, for myself, to be in the Final Four. I'm not expecting anything there. However, I will say there's a surprise in the top 10. The Lost Boys out of California. Wow. Where did they come from? They're a team a year ago, formed in California. They take the Western Division by storm, and here they are they're seated number 6.
So I think for a lot of people, they would absolutely say what you just said. Wow, what an upset. Lost Boys are high up there. I actually am going to say I am in no way surprised, and I'll tell you why. I want to say, what year is it? 2013? So 4 years ago, I played for Emerson College, 2009. We came in 2nd place at the World Cup. We absolutely dominated gameplay that year, and a majority of our players from that 2009 team are now playing for Lost Boys. So Lost Boys is kind of a team that's made up of a lot of Emerson alumni, as well as a few other people from around the California area, and they take it very seriously. I mean, we're talking about adults who are could be a bit older than the people who are playing right now, so they have more muscle mass. They've been, I mean, if you think about it, I'd say about half their players have been playing this sport for at least 4 years. And that just adds a lot of knowledge to the game, because a lot of this game isn't athletic finesse. It's how well do you know the game, how well do you know strategy. So Lost Boys really does not surprise me at all.
Well, it comes in here, as a community team, it's very tough to put an all-star team together in a community. QC Carolinas, they can't do it. Most out there, teams that are community teams or all-star teams, they just aren't making it. The Lost Boys, they're taking it to that next level, and part of it, I think, is because of the weather. California weather, Florida weather, Arizona, Texas, it's always nice, it's always sunny. You can get some really good quality practices in. But if you go to QC Carolina, winter is winter. You're not practicing as a community outdoors during the winter, and there's a lot of, rust to shake off when you come down to an event like this. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. As far as community teams go, that's definitely hard. And the thing about community teams, which I think is a little different than colleges, is community teams are usually adults. They have full-time jobs. They might not have known each other very long. They all came together for the reason of Quidditch. Now, college teams are different because these are kids that go to college together. They eat, sleep, drink, go to class together. They see each other all the time. They can create that chemistry. Lost Boys is different once again because you have these kids that all went to Emerson College together. When you graduate Emerson, you move to LA. So they all moved to LA. They've been in LA together. At the same time, you have people who have graduated UCLA, USC. Same thing. They all went to school together. They're all from top teams, and they've combined to make this kind of little all-star team that's going on. So I think they are kind of an outlier in the community team situation.
Well, who knows? They might just come up into the top 4 and surprise us all. Now, let's talk about a couple other teams. Penn State, they were number 2 seed in their bracket play, and they took the top team, the top seed, when they defeated their top. I forget who was their top team. I think it was Boston or something like that. No, Kansas. Anyway, we'll skip that. But anyway, Penn State moved up, and they are the 10 seed. Another surprise for me was USC. Even though they're a highly ranked team, they're a very competitive team. They've been in this atmosphere before, and they're a team that has molded together chemistry-wise. It's probably no surprise that they're at 11, but they had injuries this year, a lot of injuries, and it set them back. What makes USC and Penn State move up like this?
Well, I think for Penn State, they have kind of, over the past few years, really been considered a team that really does learn every year and they get better every year. And last year they were a great team. They were actually in my pool last year. They were very physical. They just didn't seem to have quite the experience that they needed to really be a top team in the World Cup. So it makes sense to me that this year they've probably learned quite a bit. They've grown as a team, and they're pretty physical. I always think physicality helps, and not kind of outlandish physicality, but people who really know how to use the physical game well, and Penn State does. That's the reason why I think Penn State is up there. As far as USC, once again, I'm not really surprised. I guess it is a little surprising that they're as high up as they are.
Right.
But like you said, they've really kind of come up the ranks through the years. It was unfortunate that they did have so many injuries, and it is surprising that, considering their injuries, that they are that high in the bracket.
Yeah, I mean, USC traditionally, if they're clean and healthy, I think they're a top 5 team in the country, maybe even the world. But with injuries that they had, I mean, they had some serious devastating injuries over the year. Let's get into some of the surprises on the negative side. We have Marquette, the Midwest regional champion. They lost a couple of games. They are ranked number 25th in this tournament out of 36. Any surprise there?
Actually, that entire pool was a giant surprise. So you had, I think it was Northern Arizona, Ottawa, the Boston Riot, and Marquette. So Marquette was the pick, hands down, for that pool to come in as first. So Northern Arizona kind of came out of nowhere. No one really knows where Northern Arizona came from, but it's awesome for them because they're clearly an amazing team. So they were the ones that also, they were ranked 1 coming out of that pool.
Right.
And then Ottawa is actually the only international team that has advanced into the brackets. And once again, people didn't expect any of the international teams to make it into the brackets. So the fact that they were ranked 2nd in that pool, also very surprising. Like I said, Marquette was the Midwest regional championship. Like, they absolutely should have been top 5 in everybody's mind.
Yeah, but Marquette, out of all the regional champions, I think Midwest is the weakest. Okay, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. And so I'm not surprised that they made it into the bracket play. What I am surprised about is how far they fell. I knew they were a weak seed coming in, but to fall that far, I didn't see that coming.
I don't think I'd call them a weak seed coming in. Actually, I played for Team USA, and we all put down, who we thought the top 20 teams were going to be, and everybody had Marquette. Absolutely, everybody had Marquette.
Yeah, but everybody had Marquette in the 15 to 20 range, right?
1 through 10.
Really, top 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's just a huge surprise, and really it just comes from the fact that it's not Marquette necessarily, but it's Arizona and Ottawa, who are just amazing teams that no one expected to have. I mean, the other upset in that pool is the Boston Riot. That's all Emerson students, who Emerson is always said to be, a school that just produces Quidditch athletes. And the fact that Boston Riot isn't even playing today, they're not even in the brackets whatsoever, that's a huge surprise.
Wow, that's great. Now, the other one in the Midwest that fell, the second team of the Midwest Championship is Bowling Green. They're in the play-in today. And again, another surprise. I expected them to be in the top 20. And here they are sitting at 31, and they have to play for their lives coming up right now, actually.
Yeah, Bowling Green is definitely a surprise. Once again, they were a team that, like I said, Team USA, we kind of had them. People had them, 15 to 20, but we all had them up there. I think that lends to the fact, though, that Bowling Green is a very young program. Last year, Bowling Green was like a Northern Arizona. They came out and everyone said, who the heck are these guys? Where did they come from? Oh, my God. So I don't think Bowling Green should beat themselves up about this or anything, because they're a very, very young team, and this is the World Cup. This is all the highest competition. So even though they've done well in the past, I'm not necessarily surprised that they've fallen so much.
Well, once they're in the bracket play, anybody can win. It's anybody's game. You just need to have a good run. Here's another surprise. The Mid-Atlantic champions, Villanova. I expected them to be on the top. I expected them to take their division to the top, because my thought was, after they won the Mid-Atlantic, they sent a B team down to the next championship down in Virginia. And it dropped them really far in the standings, down to like a 23rd seed. And that was surprising that they actually came in as weak as they did, because I really expected them to be strong and take that whole pool. No, it didn't happen. They're ranked at, number 29. And again, another team that's a regional championship, playing for their life here in the play-in.
Yeah, Villanova, I think, is arguably the biggest upset. Negatively, obviously. no one would have ever put Villanova that far down. I think Villanova would probably have been in everybody's top 10. And it's also very surprising when you consider they had at least 3 players on Team USA. And I just don't know where it came from. I don't know, if things have been going rough for them. I really can't tell you. I know they did try and contest a game where they thought it should have been overtime, and it wasn't overtime, but the game was not overturned. So I know that was their first game, so they kind of started off maybe on a bad note mentally. And I don't know if that reflected into their other games. But that's probably the biggest upset in the brackets is Villanova.
I totally agree. So yesterday there was a couple of controversies, okay? Did anything get overturned over the night that made anything a difference here?
Actually, we only had 3, I would say, actual controversies. 2 of them, we kept the games where they lied. One of them, we talked to both the teams. We brought in the IQA gameplay department, my gameplay department, and the executive department here for the tournament staff. And everyone agreed, the teams agreed to 2, that they were going to nullify the game. So both teams took a loss for the game.
And how did that affect pool play today?
It didn't really affect pool play at all because the team that had initially won that game, whether they won or lost or not, they were still going to be coming into brackets today. And same with the team on the other end, they still wouldn't have been coming into brackets.
Well, Allison, any comments about the play today? Anything you're expecting?
I am expecting things to get pretty intense today as far as gameplay goes. Like I said, this is the end-all, be-all for every single team in our Quidditch community. And it is day 2, and there are only 36 of them left. And when it's bracket play, you leave everything on the pitch. These teams are fighting for their lives the entire day today, so things will probably get intense. Luckily, we have some amazing referees this year. We have a new referee program where they have to be certified. So hopefully that'll keep things, a little bit under wraps. But I'm expecting to see some amazing, amazing gameplay today from all of our teams.
Yeah, I just hope that they all play safe, they don't get injured, because it'd be devastating to have an injury come out here. But I expect some really fierce, hard-hitting action. If you haven't watched the Quidditch game, you don't know what you're missing. You have to come down to the Quidditch World Cup. If you're not in the area, try and find a game that's in your area. It's intense when it's played the right way. We're going to show video later of how it's actually played. For now, thank you very much, Allison Gillette, gameplay director for the World Cup here in Kissimmee, Florida, and we're going to be talking to you for day 2. Thank you.